What kind of leader are you when the world around you feels chaotic? When everything changes faster than you can plan for, when decisions have to be made without all the information, do you retreat or do you reframe? I'm Carl Piester, and for more than 3 decades, I've worked with leaders who face constant volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. What we've come to call VUCA. It's a term that becomes almost cliche, yet it captures the challenges of modern leadership perfectly. But here's the good news. Now there's a new way to look at VUCA, one that moves you from surviving to leading. Most people have heard of the acronym VUCA, which stands again for volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. While there are different words sometimes used, that is what we are using today. I've read pretty widely, but just recently I heard from one of my brilliant colleagues a different version of VUCA that I had never heard before. The words my colleague used were vision, understanding, clarity, and agility. Talk about a game changer. From circling the drain to climbing the ladder. So let's set the stage. Let's say you're leading a meeting. The tone of the room is low energy. You've been there, right? You can literally feel it. Now, most know due to the economic climate that the first VUCA is many times valid. It is volatile. It is uncertain. It is chaotic. It is ambiguous. It is also, however, a place we retreat to, almost in a fatalistic approach, and lick our wounds and hope it changes. Who can fault you in being accurate when disaster's happening? However, remember that an effective leader is one who acknowledges reality and then casts a more hopeful and better vision. Let's go back to setting the stage. You're in the front of the room, but instead of going down the first VUCA path, you step away from the podium and start walking to the whiteboard. You introduce the new VUCA, and the whole room, you introduce the old VUCA, and the whole room starts to go fatalistic. But instead, you focus on the new VUCA. If you were doing this tomorrow, what would you do? What vision would you detail? Not empty words or impossible goals. Instead, you describe a path of purpose. You describe the specifics that make your organization different. Remember, vagueness never inspires. So what will you say about understanding? What will you want your people to understand? What will you teach about listening, that over-discussed and underappreciated skill that underscores understanding? Will you describe to them what this can do for them when they truly understand the points of disagreement in an unresolvable conflict? Will you teach them, as one author said, how does the other side see their behavior? Now listen to this. This quote is so impactful. The more carefully you try to understand all of the other party's motivations, interests, and constraints, the more options you tend to have for potentially resolving the disputes or deadlocks. In other words, and get this, when you empathize, you are not doing others a favor. You are doing yourselves a favor. Let's say that again, because many times we go, well, I need to empathize with the other person. But listen to what this Harvard Business School professor says. In other words, when you empathize, you are not doing others a favor. You are doing yourselves a favor. So what will you say about clarity? Will you be the leader that takes away from a problem instead of adding to the complexity? Have you thought about that? Many times when we go to solve a problem, we add to things instead of taking away. Will those you lead talk about how you are able to emphasize what can be simplified? Can you validate and model clarity? What will you say about agility? One of the most misunderstood words in modern business. Will you encourage innovation instead of confusion? Will you refer back to clarity to help them leave ambiguity behind? Will you help them see that ambiguity is never a place they need to stay? Agility brings energy, and energy brings creativity, which obliterates ambiguity. It's all in the definition. Remember, I'm not saying that the first VUCA, volatile, uncertain, chaotic, and ambiguous, is not valid. I'm only saying that the second VUCA inspires, which is where your leadership needs to be. Now, if you found this discussion helpful right now, take a moment to subscribe for more practical leadership insights. Every week I share tools and perspectives that help you lead with steadiness in a volatile world. And if you're ready to bring this kind of thinking to your team or organization, go to www.coachinggroupinc.com to learn more about executive coaching, facilitation, conflict resolution, and leadership development. We're there to help and look forward to doing so. Thanks for being with us today.